Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Nothing to See Here podcast. Hi, it's Frankie.
It's Hannah.
I'm here.
Amanda and I once again in the same room. We're recording on a day that's not our usual day, so it's weird.
It's very weird.
Blame Frankie. He's the one who made plans for recording night.
Yeah,
That's
what
true.
the fuck are you doing, Super Bowl?
I'm watching the Super Bowl with people
Why?
because I like sports. Amanda and Monique can both attest to the fact that I like sports because I've gotten way too into a K-pop band kickball video.
It's good.
It's actually, I get into it.
It's pretty funny.
But I've never been. We've been watching what's the series called?
Going 17.
Going 17 the past few times that I've been here, and I've never gotten as into a video as I am now.
You got pretty into Mafia.
I got into the one because they pissed me off.
Yeah.
They really got me angry.
Well, there's the Mario Kart one up next.
We'll see if I get into that one as much as the kickball one is really getting me because it's sports.
Are these music videos?
Absolutely not.
No, it's the band playing a game of
Okay.
Mafia and playing a game of kickball.
Yeah, they have a series weekly.
What
Bi-weekly.
a daily series.
Daily, weekly.
Daily videos would be fun.
Daily videos would make everyone involved in creating those cry.
This week, we're back with another Scooby-Doo episode.
If you could call it that.
It was fantastic.
No.
What are you talking about, Frankie?
I watched both episodes. Loved
This
them
was
both.
torture.
How was this story? This was so much fun.
This was-
No, it wasn't.
The other one?
I waited every Saturday to watch this. I waited because you could only watch cartoons on Saturday mornings. You guys don't know how good and awesome this is.
I had such a great time watching this. You have no idea. I guess I'm the odd one out here.
Let's get into it.
So Scooby's All-Star Laff-A-Lympics started as a 2-hour animated block that aired on ABC from September 10th, 1977 until September 2nd, 1978.
ABC? Did Disney own ABC at the time?
No. So there were 5 segments that would air during this. They would start with Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels, a comedy mystery show about 3 female teenage detectives and their companion, a prehistoric caveman superhero thawed from a block of ice. Then they would air the Laff-A-Lympics, which is what we watched and we'll be talking about tonight, which was based on Battle of the Network Stars and featured 45 Hanna-Barbera characters, including Scooby-Doo, Yogi Bear, Mumbly, and others competing in Olympics-styled events. 16 episodes were produced for 1977 to 1978. They also aired the Scooby-Doo show, which we watched last time, and reruns of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?, followed by the Blue Falcon and Dino Mutt. New episodes featuring the superhero Blue Falcon and his bumbling cyborg dog sidekick Dino Mutt were introduced the previous year in the Dino Mutt Dog Wonder segments of the Scooby-Doo Dino Mutt Hour. The new Dino Mutt episodes for the All-Star Laff-A-Lympics block were 2-part cliffhangers, but only 8 episodes were ever produced, totaling 4 stories. In the second season, the show became Scooby's All-Stars, and the Blue Falcon and Dino Mutt and Scooby-Doo Where Are You segments were completely dropped, and 2 Captain Caveman segments were broadcast instead of just 1. They aired 8 new Laff-A-Lympics episodes and 8 new Captain Caveman episodes. The Scooby-Doo show began to air reruns starting in November 11th, and then 7 new episodes were added as a separate half-hour, part of Scooby's All-Stars. For the 1978 to 1980 season, the block was completely canceled, and Scooby-Doo became a half-hour show, which we will review next time, Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo. Laff-A-Lympics and Captain Caveman would resurface on ABC during the second part of the 1980 season. But the actual show that we watched was Laff-A-Lympics, so let's talk about that show in a little more detail. The sporting competitions in which the characters are called upon to compete are often comical or offbeat versions of Olympic sports, races, or scavenger hunts. Each segment is set in a different location around the world. Episodes are presented in a format similar to Olympic television broadcasts. with an unseen announcer. Hosting duties and commentary are provided by Snagglepuss and Mildew Wolf from It's the Wolf segment of Cattanooga Cat, voiced by John Stevenson impersonating Paul Lynde. Snagglepuss and Mildew wear animated versions of the contemporary yellow jackets that ABC sports announcers wore at the time. Other Hanna-Barbera characters such as Fred Flintstone, Barney Rubble, Jabberjaw, and Peter Patomus made appearances as guest announcers and judges. Other non-competing characters include parents of the contestants, various monsters and creatures that were interviewed by Mildew during the events. The good guy teams consisted of the Yogi Yahooies and the Scooby Doobies, and they were cooperative and loyal. The really rottens, however, always cheat. Typically, the really rottens would be poised to win before making a fatal error at the last moment, allowing one of the other two teams to end up on top. Occasionally, the cheating wasn't actually against the rules, resulting in them getting a win. I did calculate the wins from every episode across the 2 seasons, and the Scooby Doobies dominated. They won 14 times. The Yogi Yahooies won 7 times. The Really Rottens only won twice. And the final episode of the show, which took place, part of it on the moon, had a 3-way tie. Only one complete season of Laff-A-Lympics episodes was produced, with 8 new episodes combined with reruns for the second season of Scooby's All-Star Laff-A-Lympics, billed as Scooby's All-Stars. When it premiered in the fall of 1977, the series consisted of several segments, including Captain Caveman, as I said, the Scooby-Doo Show, and Dynamite Dog Wonder, along with the Laff-A-Lympics segments themselves. In 1980, the Laff-A-Lympics resurfaced as a half-hour series on its own, simply titled Laff-A-Lympics, without any of the Captain Caveman, Scooby-Doo, and Dynamite cartoons before or after. The show was later rerun on ABC in 1986, and was frequently rerun on USA Cartoon Express, Cartoon Network, and Boomerang, often when the Summer and Winter Olympics were being held, until 2014. It most recently aired on Boomerang in September of 2023. The teams drew mainly from the 1970s Hanna-Barbera cartoons for the Scooby-Doo team, particularly mystery-solving series derived from Scooby-Doo, who was the team captain. The early production art for the series showed Genie from the Genie series and Melody, Alexander, Alexandra, and Sebastian the Cat from Josie and the Pussycats as members of the Scooby Doobies. However,
Why weren't they there?
legal problems with Columbia Pictures Television prevented this. Hanna-Barbera owned Babu, a character from Genie, but they did not own the right to Genie herself.
So Babu just showed up?
Yeah, Babu was on the team, but Genie was not.
Good for her. She didn't want to be involved in this.
Similarly, Archie Comics held the rights to all the Josie characters, not Hanna-Barbera. In the
And they should be thankful for that.
So in the actual Laff-A-Lympics show, Genie is replaced by Hong Kong Phooey,
Oh god.
and the Josie characters are replaced by Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels. So here are the teams. For the Scooby Doobies, we have Scooby-Doo, Shaggy, Scooby-Dum, Dynamite, the Blue Falcon, Captain Caveman, Brenda Chance, Taffy Dare, Dee Dee Skies, Speed Buggy, Tinker, Babu, and Hong Kong Phooey.
So who is dumber, Scooby Dum or Dynamite?
I fucking hate Dynamite. I haven't seen in the episode that I watched. I didn't see Scooby Dum do shit. Dumb, wise.
Scooby-Dum was a pretty good pitcher.
Yeah, he was really good. Look at
I
him.
think Dynamite is stupider because he is actually he's a cyborg.
He should be smarter.
He should be smart, yes. He has technology in him. But no, he ain't smart. He has no brain cells.
So the Yogi Yahoos had Yogi Bear, Boo Boo Bear, Cindy Bear, Yacky Doodle, Huckleberry Hound, Pixie, Dixie, Mr. Jinx, Hokey Wolf, Quick Draw McGraw, Snooper, Blabber, Augie Doggy, Doggy Daddy, Wally Gator, and Grape Ape. We also have the final team, the Really Rottens, the villainous team.
All of
These-
them are new characters, is what you're
Yes.
saying?
So this team was composed of villainous characters that frequently cheated by either giving themselves an unfair advantage or sabotaging the other teams, and usually had points deducted from their score as a result. With the exception of Mumbly and the Dalton brothers, all of the members are original characters. Originally, Muttley and Dick Dastardly were planned to be the co-leaders of the Really Rottens, but they could not appear as those characters because those images were co-owned by Heater Quigley Productions. So Hanna-Barbera used the existing character Mumbly and created the new character Dread Baron to be the leaders.
The existing character Mumbly?
So Mumbly was, I was wrong earlier talking to you while we watched the episode. Mumbly was a original character related to Muttley, but was actually a heroic detective. And they turned him into a villain for this show.
Oh man.
And he remained a villain in the show Yogi Bear and the Magical Flight of the Spruce Goose. The Dalton brothers appeared in 1950s and 1960s shorts, including the 1958 short Sheriff Huckleberry Hound, which featured appearances by Dinky, Dirty, and Dastardly Dalton, who we see here, as well as their other brothers, Dangerous, Detestable, Desperate, and Despicable Dalton. However, they
What mother pops out a child and goes, yeah, Dastardly?
who
That's
named their
its name.
son Desperate?
Yeah,
Desperate Dalton.
That's really good.
yeah.
They were given new character designs for the Laff-A-Lympics series. After Laff-A-Lympics, Dinky reappears in The Good, the Bad, and the Huckleberry Hound with brothers Stinky Dalton, Finky Dalton, and Pinky Dalton.
How did they get worse?
I don't know if they did. I think they're exactly the same.
Who names their kid Stinky?
Who named the dwarfs? All right, same
That's
thing.
true. So the Really Rottens team consists of Mumbly, Dread Baron, Dinky Dalton, Dirty Dalton, Dastardly Dalton, Mr. Creeply, Mrs. Creeply, Junior Creeply, Orphle Octopus, The Great Fondue, Magic Rabbit, Daisy Mayhem, and her pet pig, Suey. Originally, though, there were supposed to be 4 teams instead of the 3 that appeared on the show. The 4th team was going to be called the Dabadoozies, and were going to be captained by teenaged Pebbles and Bam Bam.
Yeah, Teen Pebbles.
And the members of the team were to have been Touche Turtle, Lippy the Lion, Judy and Elroy Jetson, and their dog Astro, Jabberjaw, Magilla Gorilla, Peter Potamus, Top Cat, and Tom and Jerry.
Wow.
However, it was felt that with so many other characters, there was no need for a 4th team.
Incorrect.
3 feels wrong. 4 feels right.
Yeah.
I feel like if they wanted to have 3, they should have kicked some of these characters out and put
Yeah.
like, Tom and Jerry and the Flintstones and
In
the
it.
Jetsons in it.
Well, Fred
Cameron-
Flintstone does appear in one of the episodes we watched.
He appears in both.
Does he? I must have missed that second appearance. Oh wait, no, I did not. You are correct.
Yeah, I think they should have had some of those characters in instead of the ones that they did. Before Amanda starts talking about her episode, which is Switzerland and Japan, got to talk about the intro, as we've done with all of these. The intro isn't really a song for this one.
The intro has a pride flag.
It does. It opens with
A bunch of
basically a pride flag.
a bunch of colored lines, and then it says Scooby's All-Star Laff-A-Lympics. I want that to be my pride flag. As part of the LGBTQIA plus community, this is the flag that I identify most with.
That's Amanda's pride flag.
That is my pride flag. Hannah, make that.
Okay.
I will say, the intro, they have like music in the background, but it's really just the announcer describing, hey,
This is a Laff-A-Lympics.
this is what's gonna happen here. We're gonna have a competition with all these characters. And they introduce the Scooby team.
But nobody else.
Fuck the other teams. They
Yeah.
don't get a mention.
No.
I think they're like,
All about the
there's
Scooby Doobies.
these 2 other teams,
Yeah.
but they name every
Every
member
member.
of the Scooby Doobies. So the first episode, which is in Switzerland and Japan, aired on September 10th, 1977. Amanda, take it away.
All right. So, yeah, when I first watched this, I was worried. I was really worried. Not so much about the Swiss Alps part of the thing, but the Tokyo, Japan thing. I'm gonna be honest with you, not as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
It was. I say this about my episode too when they go to Baghdad. It was less offensive than I thought it was gonna be going
It
in.
was still offensive at parts, but
There are stereotypes,
yeah,
but they could have been much, much, much
Don't
worse.
the 70s.
Well, yes, but that's why we all had fear. We
Yeah.
thought it would be a lot worse
Yeah.
than it actually was,
yeah,
which I'm happy about.
It was pretty tame. It was pretty tame compared to what it could have been. So yeah, they start off in the Swiss Alps, and then they end up moving on to Tokyo, Japan. Which, by the way, the backdrop that they have for the Tokyo, Japan, they have Mount Fuji. Very beautiful. Very beautiful.
Yes. Yes.
So starting off with the Laff-A-Lympics, the announcers, what are their names again?
Mildew and Snagglepuss.
Yeah. Snagglepuss, as my mom puts it, was the early draft of the queer ad for the straight guy.
Love him.
Yeah, he definitely has like the queer eye vibe. But I do think he looks much fancier than Mildew. And Mildew, for the longest time, I thought he was holding his pants up by a string. Frankie has informed me that was suspenders.
A single suspender.
A single suspender.
And it's not working because his pants are like all the way down.
Yeah, they're pretty low down. Anyway, so they're interviewing Huckleberry Bear.
Huckleberry Hound.
Oh, I don't know what he is.
He's a dog. What do you mean?
He kind of looks like a bear.
Have you seen a dog? Have you seen a bear?
There's bears in this episode.
Yeah, he kind of looks like Boo Boo Bear. Tell me, look at that screenshot and say he doesn't look like a blue Boo Boo.
He does not look like a blue boo boo.
Yeah, he does. So they interview Huckleberry Hound, and he has, for skiing, which is the first competition, he has like a fun little chair on his skis, like a nice little lazy boy, it looks like. Next up, of course, is Scooby. And Scooby's like, I'm gonna win. He says something around like those lines. And it moves to like the crowd cheering him on, and then of course the Rottens, and there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them on a set of skis, which feels a little bit like cheating, but I guess that's not cheating.
That is not cheating.
I seriously think that they made it tougher for themselves, because could you imagine skiing in tandem with 4 other people? That would be more difficult than skiing alone.
As the Rottens go past the starting line, there's one character the entire episode, and I'm sure in other episodes, it's a bunny, and he keeps going, bleh.
It's Magic Rabbit.
I really like him. He does
I fucking hated that thing.
Time.
And I hated Magic Rabbit.
I hated him. I hated him. I wanted to punt him into the sun.
Oh my god.
Well, Scooby-Doo is going down, and he's doing a bunch of tricks. However, he starts running away as the Rottens get closer, and he runs and scares himself all the way up a tree, because that's what Scooby does. So the Rottens come forward. They try to pass Huckleberry Hound, and when they pass him, they cut off like the front part of his skis, which honestly isn't gonna do much. He's still skiing, but they cut him off, and they're like, he's gonna fail or whatever. He somehow grabs like a bungee of theirs or something.
He grabs Suey's tail.
He grabbed Suey's tail. That's what it was. And he basically like hitches a ride.
And uses it to like propel himself forward.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Then we go back to the audience where Mumbly's mom is sitting. She looks very nice. She looks very nice in her little pink dress and little green hat, and she's giggling. She looks very happy. Then we go back to Huckleberry Hound, who's reading a newspaper at this point. Just fucking reading a newspaper, not even caring. The Rottens are kind of gaining on him, and we don't see exactly what happens yet, but we see that the Rottens go forward. They have an instant replay, I think is what they said. And we go back and we see what actually happens, which is the Rottens picked up Huckleberry Hound, moved him between all 5 of them, and then threw him back on his chair which to me made no sense because the skis still overtook him speed-wise, so they didn't need to pick him up.
They didn't need to pick him up, but they like to cheat.
But if they wouldn't have picked him up, they would have won because they technically cheated. So how it came was the Rottens came first, then the Yogi Yahuis, and then Scooby-Doo came in on a tree that he was stuck in. But because the Rottens cheated and they picked up Huckleberry, they end up getting third place automatically. So first place was the Yogi Yahuis, second place was the Scooby-Doobies, and third place was the Rottens.
I think that is brutal, by the way. Like they say they got punished for skullduggery and they're automatically in last.
What is skullduggery? Did you look that word up?
Just being mean, being evil.
Really?
A dastardly plot. You never heard the term skullduggery before?
No, I've never heard of it. We'll say what is it? Daisy May, what's her name?
Daisy Mayhem,
She's pretty cute. Kind of cute.
the hillbilly girl.
Yeah. Next, they go to the Swiss Ice Palace, which is my jam. Because for those of you viewers who don't know, I was a figure skater. So we move to the Ice Palace, still in the Swiss Alps. Yogi is participating for the Yogi Yahuis. Then we have Dino Mutt for the Scooby Doobies and Daisy May for the Rottens. So Yogi ties a skate onto his head and starts doing tumbles along the ice, which to me, as a figure skater, feels like cheating.
But it's not cheating.
But apparently it's not cheating.
Tie a skate to your head? If you could tie a skate to your head and do something, would you?
I'm sorry. If doing a backflip and landing on 2 feet does not count in the Olympics as a jump, this shouldn't either.
It's not the Olympics.
This is the Olympics. This is the Laff-A-Lympics.
Whatever.
Do you think in the Olympics it's legal to tie a lazy boy recliner to a set of skis?
I've never
You
seen
should
that.
find out.
I've never seen that in the rule book.
You should go open an Olympic rule book and find out.
Yeah. Anyway,
You think it's legal for a bear to compete in the Olympics?
I don't know.
What about a cyborg dog?
A bear had a
Yeah,
title.
I think a cyborg dog can't compete in the Olympics. That seems like performance-enhancing drugs.
Yeah. Anyway, so Dynomutt's next, and he's trying to do some fancy footwork, but oh no, Mumbly gets into a barrel and tries to knock him over. But the Dynomutt manages to evade him, and all is well, I guess. So Mumbly breaks the barrel and he does hula hoops. Then we cut to Dynomutt and all of the other teammates, with Dynomutt included, cheering on Dynomutt, who is on the ice.
Yeah, he's cheering for himself.
Yeah, but he was just on the ice in the previous scene.
I know.
He's a cyborg dog. It's okay.
No, it's not.
He can be in 2 places at once. We don't know what powers he has.
Then Daisy May goes up. Her pig pushes her, and she does a weird helicopter thing because she definitely does not know what to do.
The actual name for that is the hillbilly helicopter hoedown spinner.
Yes, that
And she slays it.
was her not knowing what to do, and she ends up flying out of the fucking ice palace,
Which gets her disqualified.
which gets her disqualified. In case you weren't keeping track, did they actually? Yeah, they did announce it. I just don't remember it. So because she flew out, the Rottens get last place, so they get another 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
So the Yogi Yahuis end up getting 50 points because they come in first place. Scooby Doobies get 15.
15 for second, yeah.
For second, and then the Really Rottens get 10. The last one in the Swiss Alps is the toboggan race, which is just sledding. Why don't they just say sledding?
It's different. You have a toboggan, it's different than a sled.
You know what I really would have liked to see them do? Bobsledding. It's dangerous.
That's different than tobogganing, too.
I know it's different, but bobsledding is dangerous. I don't know half of the characters that are in these sleds. Frankie, do you know
The
these
Scooby
characters?
Doobies are Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels.
Yeah.
And then for the Yogi Yahuis, I have literally no idea who any of them are, except for Grape Ape, because all he says is Grape Ape. And then for the Really Rottens, it's the Great Fondue and Orville Octopus and Mr. Creeply and
Mumbly?
no, the rabbit, Magic Rabbit.
Oh, I like the rabbit. I like him. Anyway, so the Yogi
Hannah's
Yahoos-
favorite character, Magic Rabbit.
And he
the
didn't die. Unfortunate.
Yogi Yahoos, they go forth in their toboggan. The caveman and his groomed teenagers.
Oh my god, stop attacking Captain Caveman.
It's an older man with a bunch of teenagers that he calls his teen angels. That doesn't sound like a groomer to you?
No.
They adopted him.
Yeah, they found him.
Whatever.
He's the world's first superhero.
Sure he is.
He is. He's a caveman superhero.
Anyway, they go to push their toboggan, and the blonde one notices that their toboggan is not moving. It's because the Rottens have tied a rope to it. So she unties it and they start moving, but they slip and the toboggan goes forward, so they have to run to catch up to the toboggan. So they're running downhill to try and catch up to this toboggan. Meanwhile, the villain team, the Rottens, are getting ready to push theirs, and the fondue guy, he's like, I'm gonna change this into something to go faster, and he changes it into a hot air balloon. And then he's like, oh, I might have said a word wrong. He goes back, and it's back to a toboggan. The rabbit sticks his tongue out at him, though, which I think is really funny. And he kind of looks offended.
Is that what you didn't like? You didn't like that noise constantly, Hannah?
Yes, I hated that. And that's all he would say.
That was his theme.
He's a rabbit.
Yeah.
He can't talk.
Yeah, that was his.
Scooby-Doo can talk.
Scooby-Doo special.
So, anyway.
Yogi Bear can talk.
He's not your average bear.
Thank you. The teen angels and the caveman, the groomer.
Stop attacking Captain Caveman.
The teen angels finally catch up to their toboggan, and everybody's like, the Scooby-Doobies are like, yeah, they finally got in. The villain team comes in, and the creepy guy who sounds a lot like Gomez Adams from the Adams family, but I'm guessing they can't legally, it can't be the same person.
They can't legally air the Scooby-Doo episode with the Addams family, so I doubt they had the rights to put them in the Laff-A-Lympics.
Yeah, that makes sense. So there's a drill attached to their toboggan, and they turn it on, and they drill through like a cliff thing.
The
like,
walls
the
of the
wall,
path.
The wall of the path. Apparently that's not cheating.
Not cheating, it's a shortcut.
That's a shortcut. So they're trying to catch up to everybody. The caveman dude sticks his tongue out. We go back to the dude interviewing Mumbly's mom. She's still sitting there. She looks really nice. She giggles a lot. Frankie told me that she's not nice.
She's a villain.
Is she a villain?
She's the
Her
villain.
son is just a villain.
But she's the mother of a villain, so they're a villain too by cartoon logic.
That is not true.
She looks like the type of mother who treats her daughter-in-law badly.
She looks like the type of mother who would have a son who's a serial killer, and she would go, it's not his fault, though.
The Yogi Yahoos, they managed to cross the finish line, but they crossed the finish line upside down. They flipped themselves over accidentally. I forget how.
They did come in upside down.
They came in upside down. Oh, I think it was the ape. The ape did something.
He weighed too much. He's huge.
Yeah, he weighed too much. Anyway, the teen angels are coming down, and their toboggan breaks because they hit 2 trees. So it breaks into 3 pieces, but then the 3 pieces come together like a puzzle piece, and they finally make it through the finish line as well. Makes no sense. And here comes the really Rottens. They're going through, and they reach the finish line first, but they drilled underneath the finish line and came up the other side. So because they didn't technically cross the finish line, they were disqualified. I don't know if I agree with that one either.
Well, if
I
you're-
hate this show.
What do you mean you hate this show?
Moving on to Japan, the thing that we were really all worried about.
I was more worried about Baghdad, but Japan,
In this episode, we were worried about it.
yeah.
The one we were worried about.
It started off okay because, as you said earlier, the background and setting was really nice. It was beautiful.
So the events that are taking place are sumo wrestling,
Not a real Olympic event, by the way.
Yeah.
So
tennis, and baseball.
Quite the combination.
Also, I'll point this out because I've just been kind of commentating on what's been presented visually. The music that they have for Japan, very much. How would you describe it, Frankie?
It is the music of that era that indicates, yes, we are indeed in an Asian country.
Yeah, like Edo, Japan.
It's the background music to Kung Fu Fighter. That's basically what it is,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, it's not great. Moving on to sumo wrestling, we have the Great Ape for the Yogi Yahuis. We have Shaggy, who's visibly shaking, going up against this giant ape. And then we have Mumbly. Shaggy is going underneath the Great Ape, running back and forth. And he's stepping out of the sumo ring. Isn't that
That is a loss.
That-
That is a loss. You cannot go outside of the ring. Like
Can
this
we
sport does.
actually call this sumo wrestling though?
They don't do any actual sumo wrestling, no. They just kind of like fight each other.
Yeah.
This is more like professional wrestling.
Yeah, it's very weird. So Shaggy's like jumping up and down to try and avoid the ape like grabbing him, which seems to be working out. And then he goes over to brag about Scooby. He's like, he can't even touch me. And then the ape just points his finger at him and like puts him and nails him to the ground. And so Shaggy loses. Great Ape wins.
It's grape ape.
I don't care.
Not great.
Like the fruit?
He's not a grape.
What do you mean you don't care?
He's
You
a
don't
grape ape.
you don't care about grape ape?
No. Anyway, why does
he is grape colored?
I can't believe this.
She's been calling him Great Ape the entire time.
I have.
You never
I have,
corrected
and
her.
I'm not gonna apologize.
You
for
should
it.
apologize
I'm not
to
gonna
it.
do it.
That's disrespectful to grape ape.
I
Why?
stand with Amanda.
Hannah!
Thank you. Thank you.
Hannah, I thought you'd be on my side in this episode.
Why? Did you think I was going to enjoy these?
I was on your side the entire time with Jeff, and now I don't get any backup here.
Yeah, you don't.
I'm sorry.
Anyway,
No, she's not.
yeah.
Yeah, I can tell.
That was definitely not eight.
That
I'm
was
sorry.
definitely a sorry, not sorry.
My only backup is the peanut gallery.
Anyway, why do the really rottens just get to go on to the finals?
Well, it's supposed to be like they say it's supposed to be a round robin, but they don't actually do a round robin.
No, it's not.
This is why there needs to be 4 groups.
So, Mumbly is supposed to be wrestling, but he goes over to his other teammates and
The Dalton brothers.
yeah, and the 2 tiny Dalton brothers
Dirty and
desperately.
Dirty and Dastardly.
No.
Dinky Dalton's the big one.
Where's desperately at?
He's from the other show.
They end up taking Mumbly's place, which makes no sense because why are 2 people?
I think it's a little more fair though because that is a big ape. That ape is huge.
Okay, fair.
And the brothers are really considered like
One
one
person.
person. Because really, you add it up and they've got one brain between them.
And what a fake out it was. Everyone, you had to think Dinky was going to go in there, but
Yeah.
it turns out it was Dirty and Dastardly.
Yeah, so they go in and they go in with feathers and they start tickling Grape Ape. And he starts laughing and he can't take it. I really do like though the one thing that I picked up on that I actually genuinely remember is the creepy guy, the one who's supposed to be in the knockoff Gomez Adams.
Mr. Creeply.
Yeah, he says something akin to, "He sounds happy. How terrible." That's Grape Ape
Mood.
laughing, which I thought was really funny. Grape Ape falls down with laughter, and they climb on top of him, and then they like hold their hands up, and they're like, "Woohoo!" And then they go back to their really big brother, and their little brother like holds him. You know what the brother reminds me of? What's the guy from Bugs Bunny? The giant from Bugs Bunny. I will name him George. That one.
I don't remember the giant's name.
Mom should. But he throws his little brothers up into the air and they get stuck in like a lighting and they're holding on for dear life because it's really high up. That means that the Rottens actually won that one and it wasn't cheating.
No.
Good
So
for them.
the score now is the Yogi Yahuis at 65 The Really Rottens are at 55, and the Scooby Doobies are also at 55. The next one is the tennis match. I'll be honest with you, didn't really pay that much attention to the tennis one. Didn't seem that interesting. I did notice that Mildew was being fanned by 2 geishas, so good for him. He asked them if they can turn up the air conditioning a bit, which means they just fan him more vigorously. So Yogi is playing for the Yogi Yahooies, and the Great Fondue is for the Rottens. And Yogi's not doing too bad.
He's the reigning champ. He has 4 gold medals.
How do you know this?
They tell you this.
8 because some of them were doubles.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that joke. That's a good joke, right, Hannah?
Mm-hmm.
Ha ha ha. Well, the Great Fondue multiplies himself into 6 of him. They throw 6 balls, and Yogi actually he makes his his racket bigger, and he manages to hit all 6 balls. So the Great Fondue hits them back, but one of the balls goes and hits his hat, and the rabbit gets very upset about it because the rabbit was in his hat. Next, Yogi is up against Dino Mutt, who seems to be doing really well because he's a cyborg.
With no brain cells.
Blue Falcon says something akin to him as he's just talking nonstop. Stop yakking, keep whacking, or start whacking, something like that.
Yeah.
And then he says, right, BF. He calls him BF. Yogi is really trying his best, but he's up against a cyborg. It's really hard to beat that, especially when apparently his arm just goes wherever he fucking wants it to go. He hits the ball, and Dino Mutt is able to hit it. Long story short, Yogi misses. So now the score is tied with Yogi Yahooies at 80, Really Rottens at 65, and the Scooby Doobies at 80. And this is the very last one. This is where it's probably not great. They are at a baseball stadium. It's a really badly drawn baseball stadium.
It is.
Like they have 4 lines. That's it. They have a square. The one for the Scooby Doobies is Hong Kong Phooey, and
he's pitching.
I'll just say, Hong Kong Phooey's voice actor really racist.
Maybe one of the most offensive portrayals I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, really. Don't defend it.
It's aged poorly.
It was bad when it was produced, and it's really bad now.
There are episodes of All in the Family that have aged poorly too.
Yeah.
We're not denying that. We're just saying it was wrong then. It's wrong now.
It's you know they say some people age like fine wine. It's aged like milk.
What's worse than milk? Old milk. Eggs.
What's worse than milk? Old milk. You're right. Old milk is worse than milk.
Anyway, so Hong Kong Phooey is pitching, and Quick Draw McGraw is for the Yogi Yahooies, and he goes up. Hong Kong Phooey is he's good at pitching. He's really good at pitching, and Quick Draw McGraw not great at batting. He swings so hard that he drills a hole into the ground, so he misses and he strikes out. So next up for the Scooby Doobies, Captain Caveman, the groomer, is batting for the Scoobies, and the Great Baron, the Red Baron.
What?
The Red Baron is Peanuts.
Dastardly Baron.
The Dastardly Baron, Barreling Baron, whatever. He is he's pitching. As he's going to pitch, he has. Is that like a baseball?
It's got like a rail gun, basically.
That like it's like a machine gun with baseballs in it, and he pitches. But Captain Caveman apparently seems to be really good and really able to like hit all of them. Good for Captain Caveman, and the groomer, he wins. Good for him, and he flies off because apparently he can fly.
He's a superhero.
So Scooby Dum is pitching now, and the pig. What's the pig's name?
Suey.
Suey the pig is batting. Before we get to that, Fred Flintstone makes a guest appearance with Barney Rubble.
Yeah.
And tells Scooby Dum how he should pitch the ball. Fred and Barney get into like a little argument. Fred tries to demonstrate how you pitch a ball. He then throws his back out. Fast forward to it, Scooby Dum does a really good pitch, and it goes so great that the pitch goes through one, it stops, goes up and down each time the pig tries to hit it, and then goes through the pig's bat, making a hole. So, strike. So the Scooby Doobies take it. So Scooby Doobies are now the victors with 105 points. The Yogis are second, the Yogi Yahoos with 80, and the Really Rotten 65. So we see the Scooby Doobies sitting on the podium. Frankie told me that there is. Oh, I'm looking. I found it.
Yeah, there's an outro that originally when I was here when Amanda watched this, and she watched it on Boomerang, and it cut out the outro and just went to the next episode.
I found it.
But the outro I thought was really funny. It shows the mystery gang, all of them, walking into like a haunted house, and they run into a vampire bat, and it chases them and screams at them, and then it tries to scream at Captain Caveman, and Captain Caveman screams at the bat, and the bat runs away.
I would run away from a groomer too.
Stop going after Captain Caveman. All right.
Take it away, Frankie.
Yeah, my episode now. This aired on December 24th. A Christmas Eve episode. What a gift.
Horrible gift.
Christmas
Return it.
present in 1977 with Quebec and Baghdad. So in Quebec, we are going to start with the lacrosse batting for accuracy. And the Flintstones are back to be guest judges. Fred is here to show us the basics of lacrosse scooping. So Barney tosses him the ball, and Fred repeatedly fails to scoop it into his little lacrosse, I guess, throwy thing. I don't know, net?
Stick.
Lacrosse stick. Yeah, that's the word for it. Thanks, Anna.
I know a sport. Yay.
You are the self-proclaimed sport expert here. How do you not know?
Because lacrosse is a terrible sport for rich white people. They get 3 throws of a ball, and they have to scoop the ball and throw it into the net, and whoever scores the most wins. So first we have Quick Draw McGraw for the Yogis, then Shaggy for the Scoobies, and then Daisy Mayhem. Quick Draw starts by dual wielding the fucking sticks.
All right. Dual wield.
The Rottens go and move the machine up to white lightning speed, and they destroy
White lightning speed.
the fastest speed on the machine that's throwing the balls. And they absolutely destroy Quick Draw McGraw. It breaks his clothing. It breaks his sticks. Quick Draw McGraw gets bullied in both episodes that we watch.
Yeah.
So it breaks his spirit.
It does, and he gets 0 points. So Quick Draw has no points. And then all of a sudden, they make Shaggy a coach,
Why?
and he's not competing. Scooby is competing.
Why?
Shaggy gives Scooby some advice. They don't explain why. So Shaggy gives Scooby advice by saying it's just like scooping ice cream to scoop the lacrosse balls.
Does that help?
It does. So the Rottens try to throw all 3.
Handles food analogies very well.
He does. They throw all 3 balls at once at him by altering with the machine, and Scooby catches all of them and then licks them, hates the taste of them, and whips them away right into the net, getting all 3 points. Then Daisy is up. She gives a nice hillbilly scream, and then she catches Mildew and throws him into the net, and I think that should be a score.
Honestly, she's killing it in the games, and it's her team that's letting her down.
I agree. I think.
So the Rottens move the machine to slow, and she catches all 3 and starts running to the net to throw it. And then the Great Fondue says, no, I'm going to use magic, and transports her into the net with the balls. And she gets disqualified because she went into the net along with the balls.
Now here's
Again, her
again,
team is letting her down.
magic. she would have won.
Mm-hmm. The Scoobies now have 25 points. The Yogis have 15. And by special rolling bullshit, the Rottens get 10. Then we go to the forest for the Canadian tree cutting contest.
I'm sorry, what?
They're going to cut down a tree.
We deforest the forest.
This was a Christmas Eve episode.
So the winner is the contestant that chops down the tree the quickest in under 2 minutes.
Do they decorate the tree?
No, they just chop it down. So the Yogi team is Doggy Daddy and Augie Doggy.
I love them.
Scoobies have Captain Caveman competing alone.
Excuse me, the angels are there to give moral support.
Yeah, but they don't really do anything. They just
No,
like,
they have
stand
not
around.
done anything this entire time.
Honestly, they share one girl's brain cell between the three of them.
And of course, he doesn't want them to do anything. That could hurt their figure.
Oh my God! Stop! They found him. And the Rottens have the Octopus and Mr. Creeply competing as a team.
I like
The way they're set up is so Captain Caveman has his club, which has tools that come out of it, and he chooses the axe. Augie Doggy and Doggy Daddy have one of those like big push saws, so they're each pushing and pulling on one end. The Rottens, the octopus has an axe in every single tentacle, and he's sitting on a wooden platform with a wheel that Mr. Creeply is pushing towards the tree. And the octopus is just spinning at a rapid pace, so he becomes like a fucking circular saw.
That's amazing.
The doggies using the long saw are not doing it correctly because Doggy Daddy told Augie Doggy, push when I say push and pull when I say pull. But they're pushing and pulling at the exact same time. So the saw is like pushing in on itself and then pulling out. So they're really not cutting the tree effectively.
They're bad at things.
The Rottens are taking a big lead, and for once, not cheating to
No.
get the lead.
How are they going to tell them that they are cheating?
This is, in my mind, the biggest bullshit in the episodes.
This was infuriating.
So, the Rottens tree falls into the Yogi's tree, and they both start falling, but the Rottens tree gets caught in branches of another tree. So the Yogi's tree falls and hits the ground first.
Yeah, that's
And
not
so
fair.
they win. And then Captain Caveman knocks his tree down. So he takes second place because the Rottens tree never technically touched the ground. Bullshit.
Yeah,
That was
Fucking bullshit.
They didn't cheat. They deserved first. They came up with a great strategy.
They did.
And they were robbed by. I'm blaming Snagglepuss and Mildew for this.
That's fair.
When they were explaining the rules, did it ever like explicitly state that the tree has to touch the ground, or was
No.
it just whichever tree fell first?
I deliberately wrote the rule down, and Snagglepuss only says the winner is the contestant that chops down their tree the quickest in under 2 minutes.
Fucking bullshit. Like, I knew it was bullshit, but that really
Who can
hammers
chop
it
that
in.
tree in 2 minutes?
The Rottens, they were fucking moving.
That's a lot. Like,
He had a circular saw in essence in the octopus.
even still.
The Yogis and the Scoobies both have 40 points now, and the Rottens only have 10 points.
They're being robbed.
They got no points because their tree never hit the ground. So the second half of the episode is now coming from Baghdad, where we will have the flying carpet races and the magic rope climbing.
Yeah, that's not, you know.
Whew. Okay. So, Baghdad got it worse than Japan, I think.
Yeah, a little bit worse. We go to the magic or the flying carpet races, and Fondue casts a spell. Or before we go there, they're in the forest still saying, oh, we're going to Baghdad. And Fondue casts a spell that has a little bit of smoke. And they go, hey, you can't have smoke in the woods. It's dangerous. And Fondue casts a spell that just sends smoke everywhere. And he disappears to Baghdad, I assume.
I was hoping Smokey the Bear would show up.
We're now in Baghdad. We start with the flying carpet races. So first we have Grape Ape on the single sheet special. And it can barely hold the weight of Grape Ape. Babu is flying the air suspension model. He flips upside down and falls because he didn't use his seatbelt. And then on what they describe as a rotten flying carpet is the Great Fondue and Magic Rabbit.
Yeah, Magic Rabbit.
Hannah's favorite character. Hannah, I
You
think you're
can't
gonna.
see me, but I'm rolling my eyes so hard they've fallen out of my head.
I love that rabbit.
So Grape Ape is using his arms to keep the carpet up. He's like flapping his arms like a giant bird
Good.
to keep the carpet up. Fondue turns Magic Rabbit. He uses his Magic Rabbit's ears into a propeller to move faster.
The
Also-
only good thing this rabbit has done.
This causes Daisy Mayhem to let out another hillbilly yell. She's very excited about
What
it.
does that sound like?
I'm not gonna do a hillbilly yell. And then Babu is laying down stomach first on his carpet, swimming through the air to go faster. He then casts a spell to add jet engines onto his carpet.
The genie?
Babu, yeah.
Cheating. That's cheating.
What do you mean? They turned Magic Rabbit into a propeller.
Yeah, but if the Rottens did that, that would be cheating.
So Fondue has a can though with him. And what's inside this can? It's
Yeah, whoop ass.
no, it's a can of ravenously hungry tiger moths. And he releases them and they eat Babu's carpet. And he falls ass first onto Grape Ape's carpet. And they start rowing with their arms to go faster.
Grape Ape's carpet is already struggling to hold him.
Yeah, and it struggles even more. And Babu's a pretty big character too. And they crash into Hangar 2. And then Magic Rabbit crosses the finish line on the carpet, but the Great Fondue does not because he gets caught up in the finish line banner and falls to the ground. But Magic Rabbit crosses, giving the Rottens a win. And Grape Ape is signing autographs in the hangar, and Babu has left to get his carpet rewoven. The Rottens win, and they now have 45 points. I don't know how. I guess they had 20 at the end of the last event, but they said only 10 when I was watching it. And then as the other two did not finish the race, they get no points. So the Rottens are winning 45 to 40 to 40. The final event is the Magic Rope Climb, which is just a rope that floats in the air. You got to climb all the way to the top. Yogi Bear is competing for his team, and they say he is the favorite because of his ability to climb a sequoia tree to escape the park ranger. Dino Mutt is competing for his team, and Blue Falcon seemingly hates Dino Mutt.
I would also hate Dynamite.
He like comes over and starts berating him.
Also, Blue Falcon hasn't done shit in either episode.
We've seen every member compete in these 2 episodes. That's not true. We didn't see Mrs. Creepley or Junior Creepley compete.
That's very true.
Or Mumley. Mumley didn't compete either. Oh no, he did in the skiing.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the skis.
He was on the skis.
But every time we see Blue Falcon, he's just there to bully his dog.
Yeah, he's mean. He shouldn't be a dog owner or a cyborg owner. So Dinky Dalton, the big Dalton, is climbing for his team using a rotten mountain rope ladder that is fraying everywhere. He starts to climb and the rope breaks and he crashes to the ground. So Blue Falcon tells Dynamite to use his brain and go. And so Blue Falcon, or Dynamite, his neck is also stretchy and he starts stretching his head up the rope, up and up and up. But he's only stretching his neck up, not his legs. And Blue Falcon goes, you can't just stay on the ground. You got to use your arms and legs too. And Dynamite goes, well, you told me to use my brain to climb. That was a joke that they made.
It's a bad one.
How does he have no brain cells?
Dinky Dalton is seemingly climbing up his rope, but really he's being pulled up by a fish hook hooked into his pants with piano wire. And Dastardly Baron is flying a helicopter with a Mumley cranking the rope up. And so the other 2 Daltons then run over to Yogi's rope and begin twisting it. And then they let go and it starts spinning as the tension releases. And Yogi's like spinning around on the rope. And he can't climb up because he's getting dizzy. Dino Mutt is climbing with 1 foot on the ground, which feels illegal.
It does feel illegal.
But
He's not climbing. He's standing there.
he
as
then
He's just has his foot on the ground. He's not climbing. He's cheating.
but he's acting like he's climbing.
Yes. And that's cheating because
breaks
all
it.
he's doing is propelling himself upward with his extendo foot.
And then he like uses the foot somehow to kick off and it like shoots him up to the top. But then Dinky Dalton, they don't stop when he reaches the top of the rope. And he goes up past the rope and ends up crashing into the helicopter. Dynamite then gets the win. Dinky Dalton gets last for leaving the scene of the climb. Amanda is giving a full, legitimate laugh to that joke that they made.
That was good. I liked that one.
And they give Yogi second, even though he didn't finish.
Yeah, that's not fair.
So the final result is Scooby with 65, and Yogi and the Rottens tie with 55. So in both episodes that we watched, the Scooby Doobies won.
I'm not surprised.
I think the really rotten might have been robbed.
They were robbed. The really Rottens were robbed in the tree cutting competition.
Yeah, I agree.
The announcer, they don't give an award ceremony in this episode, and the announcer tells us to join next week. Some news for you guys on that end. This was the last episode of season 1. The next episode didn't air until September 9th, 1978.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah, just wait. 8 whole months.
Next
and
week.
The new episode will be out. That's a week. Every day is a month, plus an extra to add on. What a show.
Do you want to guess where I'm putting this on our list, our ranking list of Scooby-Doo?
You cannot possibly
Put this low.
put this below the new Scooby-Doo movies.
No,
agree.
this is dead last.
Are you kidding me?
This is dead last.
This can't be dead last.
This was insufferable.
Well, Hannah, my vote is that it is number 3 above
No,
Scooby-Doo
you were wrong.
movies,
No.
but below the Scooby-Doo show.
No, hey, 2 people are on this. You're outvoted.
Oh, Hannah, you've been outvoted.
Amanda, I was on your side.
I appreciate that.
The Scooby-Doo Laff-A-Lympics are in 3rd place now.
That is the incorrect answer. That is the incorrect list.
So the official Nothing to See Here podcast rankings of the Scooby-Doo shows are as followed. In 4th place, the new Scooby-Doo movies.
Correct.
In 3rd place, the Scooby-Doo Laff-A-Lympics.
Yep.
Incorrect.
In 2nd place, the Scooby-Doo show. And in 1st place, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? I think that's correct.
Yeah.
Up top, Amanda.
No.
We just gave each other a high five. Don't know if that came across on the mic. But Hannah, Amanda and I are excited. Hannah, I think you got to reevaluate Magic Rabbit, and you'll come away with a new appreciation for the show.
No.
Magic
No.
Rabbit was dope. I liked Magic Rabbit.
I lost brain cells watching this.
I had so much fun watching this today.
I did not mind it.
I was smiling the whole time I watched
He was.
it.
I can attest.
And that was the 2nd time I watched the episode.
Mhm.
So I really liked it. I would have put it maybe higher, but I would have been definitely outvoted then.
You would have, yeah.
I'm with you, Frankie.
Yeah, thanks, Monique. Next week, or not next week, sorry, next month. In a month. I always think it's next week because like we do weekly recording, but I don't want to skip Hannah's episode or your episode or even my episode to do this.
So
Next
time that you revisit Scooby-Doo.
The next time we revisit Scooby-Doo, we will be in 1979 and 1980, and we will be looking at 2 episodes of Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo. Now, on our list, we have the next 2 episodes of Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo. Hannah will be covering the 1st episode, The Blue Scarab, and I will be covering the 2nd episode, which, based on the title, I'm not sure how afraid we should be for it. The Ransom of Scooby Chief. I don't know if they mean police chief or Native American chief, and one of those is concerning.
I think it's the concerning one.
I do too.
Let's hope it's the police chief.
I'm
Are
gonna,
we sure we want to do that one? We can change it.
No,
No,
can't.
we're gonna do it. We're gonna
Okay.
watch how Scooby-Doo ages. If that's part of the experience.
That is part of the.
That's true. That's true.
And then after that, I'm explaining a little bit ahead because I want to detail why I've done this. And I'll probably detail it in the episode as well. But after that is a movie that I watched a lot as a kid, Scooby Goes Hollywood. And then after that are 2 other episodes of Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo from 1980 and 1982. The reason why there's a division there is the original Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo show. They air the first 2 seasons, and then after that, in 1980 and 1982, they heavily revised the show, and it becomes something different. So I wanted to add those 2 episodes to reflect that. And maybe I'm wrong in the 2 episodes that I added, and they won't be any different, and we'll all make fun of Frankie.
I'm down for that. I like making fun of Frank.
I do also like making fun of you.
So, but we're getting ever closer to our first movies, actual movies. I know Scooby Goes Hollywood is like a little longer than some stuff, and it could be considered a movie. I don't think it is. Our
I think
first
it's a movie. I'd call it a movie.
is there, but we're getting close to what people remember as the first Scooby Doo movie
We're
with the
close
Boo
to them.
brothers and
Go
then
Skull!
Ghoul School and Reluctant Werewolf. But I will say there is a little pause between the Boo brothers and Ghoul School because in between we do have to revisit Amanda's favorite show, as she's repeatedly said, A Pup Named Scooby Doo. We're getting ever closer to Pup Named Scooby Doo on this show.
I love a pup named Scooby Doo.
So, yes, next time we will visit Scooby Doo and Scrappy Doo, but next week is Hannah's next episode. Hannah, do you want to
It's not going to be as insufferable.
Hannah, do you want to give us what it is or a little clue to what it is, a little preview? What are we doing?
Well, I can say this is not my second application for the title of the spooky one. This is not a spooky episode from me.
Not a
We're
spooky.
going to go visit an ancient culture and talk about something that I believe is going to happen within our lifetimes.
The end of the world.
Yeah.
We're talking the apocalypse
Yeah. Yeah.
with Hannah.
Yeah.
Guide us through the apocalypse, Hannah. How do we survive? Let us know.
I don't know. We'll figure that out together.
Anything else anyone wants to add?
Apparently, they now have color changing toothpaste for children.
Anything anyone else wants to add pertinent to the episode of the show or future episodes of the show? Amanda
Well-
is shaking her head no, which I'd once again like to advise her doesn't work on a audio only medium.
Yes, but you're sitting here next
You were
to her,
sitting
so
right next
she's
to me,
being
yeah.
lazy.
Oh my god. All
I
right.
thought you knew how Amanda works by now.
I also thought you knew how I was.
I should know how Amanda works by now. With all that being said, are we ready to take care of business and wrap up?
Mhm.
All right.
Yep.
Well done. Remember to follow us and or subscribe on wherever you're listening to our podcast. As of recording, we are only on Spotify, but we are working behind the scenes to get it onto other platforms. So hopefully by the time this airs, it'll be on a couple of other platforms. And we've had some ideas from Amanda that have got us thinking about starting a YouTube channel to go with the show. So once that gets up and running, expect some possible video content as well as the episodes being uploaded there. If they are not already, remember to leave a review for the show. We would appreciate that. Any feedback you'd like to give us. If you're listening to this on Spotify, there is a what do you think of the episode question that you can interact with, and we will get that directly. If you would like to send us an email with any comments you'd like to leave, any suggestions for future episodes, anything you want to say about the episodes, any questions you would like to give us, you can send us an email to
Nothing to see here podcast at gmail.com. As always, here is spelled HEAR.
if you would like to see some artwork done by Amanda or some funny memes like Amanda's pride flag done by Hannah.
If Hannah gets to demand that I draw you as a mongoose, I get to demand a pride flag.
Do you want Scooby-Doo on the pride flag?
No.
No? You just want the colors?
I want the colors and maybe a picture of me.
A picture of Amanda.
Just Amanda Pride. Okay. Well, you can find that on Instagram at Nothing to See Here Pod.
And both our email and our Instagram are also in the episode description below.
Please
And
enjoy those. I have fun writing them.
They are fun. Thank you for writing them, by the way,
Mhm.
Hannah. I'll say that publicly.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And then finally, please share this with your friends, with your family, with your enemies. Play it for your pets. They might enjoy it.
Yeah.
If you're looking for the Christian children podcast or the child raising podcast with tips, I don't know, you've made it very far into this episode and didn't realize
I have a parenting tip.
we have a parenting tip from a non-parent. Okay, go ahead.
God, I want to hear this.
I have a parenting tip. This actually helped me whenever I worked in daycare. Whenever you go to put, like, especially with girls, you go to put sunscreen on kids, bring a makeup brush with you so it acts like you're putting on makeup, and they, like, fucking love it.
Okay, that's actually not a bad tip.
I know.
This has been a Christian parenting tip with the non-Christian parenting podcast.
I'm not a Christian parent either. I'm not a parent. But it's a good idea.
Hannah, do you have any parenting tips you'd like to give?
I don't have
Accept your children for who they are.
It's a good parenting tip.
Yeah, Mom.
That's a fantastic parenting tip.
Take your kids to Disney on Ice.
Well, that's a more of a selfish demand from a child.
grown adult ass child.
That's a conversation for off camera.
It was good.
All right. Well, with that, we're about to have that conversation off camera, I think. Saying goodbye. It's Frankie.
It's Hannah.
I'm White Lightning.
I'm the
Bye.
peanut gallery.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.